Hey guys.
Hi everyone, welcome to the channel.
Thank you for coming in. I'm Maradona, your personal development coach.
And Nick, your fitness coach.
And together we are your
Relationship
coaches. Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
leave you
no, I
behind.
know. You didn't leave me behind. I felt a little behind that time.
So today we're talking about how finances, actually not just today, we're going to be doing maybe 2 or 3 videos on finances and how they affect your relationship.
They do affect it, don't
Oh
they?
yeah, oh
Big time,
yeah.
big time.
Finances are something that is also emotional for persons, and when you become a couple, you have to discuss your finances. You
Yeah.
have to agree on different ways in which you're going to spend your money, different things you're going to spend it on, and in between all of that, you're going to be learning each other's spending habits.
Yes.
Yeah. Such an interesting.
It is.
ride.
It's a very interesting thing, because you've normally gone from being a single person,
Oh yeah.
dealing with your money and doing what you want, and then when you go into a relationship, it kind of becomes a couple thing.
Yeah.
And then if you get serious and end up being, living together, etc., your finances become a very big thing that you end up
Oh
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah. And so the first thing we really want to step into is understanding what type of mindset you and your partner have.
Ah, okay.
And
So what are they?
yeah, I was gonna say, when we put together these videos, we do a good bit of research, and one of the books that we use is one on marriage counseling by Emily Cook, and so she broke it down into 2 different types of mindsets. The first one being a scarcity mindset, and the second one being a magical mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the scarcity mindset is basically where you're brought up in an environment and you're basically constantly in a situation where you're wondering where money is coming from. You're wondering how you're going to get money. You're wondering about your family's financial situation and how you're going to get through this month or this week or this day. So that puts one in a scarcity mindset. And life is the way it is. No one can particularly control the type of environment they're raised in. Now the financial climate, no matter the parent is probably working, there are just things that you cannot
I was going to
control.
say that there are always going to
Yeah.
be times when the scarcity, there is not enough money for that month or that project,
Yeah.
or that kind
Yeah.
of time.
And so I don't want this to come across as blaming the parents kind of thing, because when we're children, we really don't quite fully understand what's happening. We may have some idea, we may think things are enough.
But I think that's that. Now we talked there about the magical mindset.
Yes.
Now, the magical mindset is the sort of almost the not discussing money. And I feel from my parents that was the situation.
Okay.
I knew that sometimes things were difficult at home, and money was short. My father worked, my mother didn't. We're talking back in the 70s and the 80s, and I knew there was money problems at home,
Yeah.
but it was never discussed.
So yeah,
Never spoken about.
that's the magical mindset where you feel as though you're neither here nor there with you growing up. There may be a problem, but you're not really aware of it. And basically, things for you are usually like it's just mellow. You don't particularly feel the backlash of whether or not there is an ebb or a flow in the finances. So yeah. With that said, you want to say something else?
Yeah, I was going to say what I think the way it affected me from the, let's say, the magical mindset as such, is that it made it that people, or one was, I'm trying to think how to describe it now. You were, like you say, you were blasé about it, in that you didn't really necessarily know where the money was come from. But I think that affects how you then go about spending money, saving
Of
money,
course,
and
of
and what
course.
you do with your money in the future.
Yep.
And, reconciling your bank account and things like that, they are big things. And today, it's online and you can do these kind of things a lot more simpler than you could. Well,
So yeah, we were going into that next. What does money mean to you? Because being in both of these mindsets is going to affect each person differently.
definitely.
How they choose to respond to it is going to affect them totally differently. I would say that I personally up in a scarcity type of mindset, and it's not even a situation where I didn't know where means were coming from, but I was so aware of finances and the quality of life which we had as compared to other persons I would have gone to school with, that I felt as though I I grew up with that type of mindset. I didn't think, oh, money just came, there was nothing to worry about. I understood that money was something you had to work very hard for. That's the mindset I had. I didn't think that making it easy. I didn't think that you can do what you like and make money, things like that. You just had to find a really good job and stick it out and get a really good education, the typical things you were taught when you're really young, and then you grow up and you realize that
It's not quite
it's not quite like that.
is it?
So yeah, the first question we have here for ourselves really to just discuss with you is, how has money influenced you? Or what does money...
What does money mean to me? I think to me, money means, in a way, sort of a level of comfort. In that, if you have a low money threshold, shall we say, or income, whatever you want to call it, then you're covering the bare necessities of life, and you're going from sort of paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And if you have a little bit extra of money, it enables you to maybe indulge in some of the more comforts that maybe make life, or do make life, a little bit more comfortable for you. Maybe making things easier. Money, it allows you to do other things, but what do you think?
From my side, money means possibilities to me. That's honestly what I read. That is exactly what it means to me. Not necessarily bare necessities, and it goes back to what I was saying. I felt as though because we didn't have in those quotation marks, you had money but you feel like you don't have it. I wasn't able to travel when I was younger. Yeah, so for me, money equals the possibilities, better education, better health care, all those different things. That's what I saw it as. And I guess the next question is, how does it influence your behavior? Or how did it then, and how does it now?
I think it influenced my behavior quite a lot then, in that I'm best with money, I will admit. I think you're better at it, looking up with it than I have been. Going through some, it's made me realise, yes, you can do it. You need to be very careful what you're doing. You need to budget very carefully, and if you do those things, then yes, you can get away. You can not get away. You can get by. You can do the things that you want to do, as long as you're very careful with it. How does it influence? I think it just makes me more cautious, about really.
Is that since meeting me, or just in general? What is it?
I think maybe more since meeting you.
Okay.
I've become more cautious with the money, and I know that let's say from a minimalist perspective as well, we don't like to have a lot of things around. So it does make us kind of question, do we need that? Do we really want that? How do you think it influences you?
So, having started up my coaching business I'm just going into my third year now, I think money influences me in a way where if I'm not contributing, I don't feel honest in the relationship. I don't feel helpful. I don't feel like I'm part of the relationship. I don't feel like I'm the other hand clapping to make things work. And if I'm not making an ideal salary, I don't feel as though I am being 100% in the relationship. That's how I feel. Of course, he disagrees.
I will say, okay, we're going on longer than our normal time, but I am going to disagree with you. Because if you look at the age difference between us, okay, to me, you're not generating a huge salary at this point in time. You're building on it. You're building your skills. You're building your client base. And it's getting bigger, and it is bigger, and it is getting bigger all the time. I look at it from my perspective at this point in time as an investment. You know, 8 out of 10 businesses for the first year do not make money.
Yeah.
For the second year, they maybe break even. The third year, maybe they make a profit. Well, I look upon it now as I'm investing, because in 5 years' time, I might not be working. I might be retired. And then it will be me who is generating some smaller income while you become the major income winner.
Yeah.
So
I
think you beat yourself up unfairly. I think you work harder than I work. Don't let my boss hear that.
That's another topic we're gonna come to. Valuing work done at home, but that's a totally different video.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the ways that it influences me. And then going back to when I was in Taiwan, I actually made a salary that I was extremely happy with. It was beautiful. I was an English teacher while I was reading for my master's. And so the way it influenced my behavior, because of the scarcity mindset, I would save a lot. I would hold on to a certain percentage, and that's then something I think I grew up with that type of mindset, understanding that I needed to have a certain percentage aside before I can go and have a jolly. Before I was saying to someone the other day, if I make a salary now and I can see that I can go to a Beyonce concert and I can just wipe out that whole salary on that, I wouldn't do it if I don't have enough savings set aside. Maybe I am slightly pessimistic, or maybe I am just very cautious, overly cautious, but it has always been my mindset where it's all well and good to be making this salary now, but always remember to reinvest. That's a huge thing that I always do. I always reinvest a part of my salary. I always have something tucked away. And I think he would have been influenced a lot by that by the time you met me, you know. And so coming together, I did notice the way that he was spending. And you know, we don't say communicate with your partner because we like to just say the word, but it really helps.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference, especially when you explain things in the form of like questions you ask. So what happens if I get ill tomorrow? Would we be okay? What happens if we need to support our family in a certain way? Would they be able to depend on us? You know, and with those types of questions between you and your partner, you can then start building on financial decisions in a more profound way, and just opening up two ways in which you both spend. You would start seeing it coming out, and it's not a matter of always 50-50 in it also.
No.
Because Nick thoroughly just kind of give me a good tongue lashing for that. It's not always the case of being able to 50-50 it, but negotiating and understanding where you stand with different things, you know.
No, that I think that's very true. You know, we open discussion. You know, I was going to say we have an open relationship. That's not right. We have an open relationship with money, with what we do and how we spend it, what we spend it on, and we do question each other a lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
You know, about do we really need this small item? But 10 small items make a large item. 5 large items make a huge item.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're not spending on that.
Yes.
You know, I know it's not quite the same, but when we talk about food, wasting food.
Oh yeah.
That's
a huge thing for us.
We see that as money down the drain.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah. Well,
and we are quite paranoid about not wasting that kind of money.
Yeah. And that's usually where a lot of persons, whether you're single or you're in a relationship, that's where a lot of your money would go into food. And understanding what you like is so important. So from the time you see you're throwing away certain things, it is to take a mental note. From the time you see you're always eating certain things, you take a mental note too.
Yeah.
From 2 perspectives: your health and
your wealth.
Your wealth, because you can be bulk buying that.
Yeah, you can.
You could be bulk buying that, and we're kind of digressing, but we just wanted to reiterate the value of having that conversation with your partner, because finances are very emotional.
Yeah,
they go back to your parents, they go back to the history of being a black person, being a white man, living in a certain time of life. And it can get emotional, and as opposed to just having an argument and saying, oh, but you always this and you always this, it's just getting into a frame of mind of relaxing and saying, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's
and having and I know we're not going to cover it now. I know we're going to do this one later, but having a money plan.
Oh yeah.
A money plan is a big thing, and we will talk about that. That's going to come up in one of the next topics.
Yeah.
We will, but we'll bring that on later.
So have this conversation. Check out our next video, because we're going to talk about relationships and finances a bit more. And we'll see you in the next video.
And I'll do all the normal. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and then you'll get notifications about when all our new videos come out.
That's so true.
All right. Take care, guys. Peace out.